What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the madness. Today we're going to be talking about whether or not the Axe Effects is still worth the purchase price 3.5-4 years after the release date. So in order to answer this question completely adequately, we need to think about a couple things. 1. Do guitarists still consider the Axe Effects relevant? 2. Are there software updates that make this thing still progress into the future? 3. Is the technology that's implemented on the machine still worth its money? 4. The build quality of it. Is it intended to last past the years that have already been given to it? And 5. What's the competition like? What are other people doing? And is Axe Effects still playing in the same ball field? That's really what I want to get at. And answering those questions will pretty much lead you to what my opinion is. All right, so let's get into this thing. All right, so relevance. It's kind of an interesting question, right? Because it's kind of loaded with whatever it is that makes it relevant to you particularly. So let's go ahead and take a look at the website real quick and see what it has to offer. So we've got the Axe Effects main unit, which is what I have, and it's $2,500, right? That comes with just the unit, no cords, no foot switches, no pedals. You add all those things up together and you end up at $3,250 plus 120, about $3,300, right? And what does it have? Infinite customizability, and pretty much infinite customizability in how you use it, right? So in theory, this technology doesn't really get old, right? The relevance stays consistent. So as far as relevance goes for the average guitar player in the gearhead, yeah, this thing is absolutely staying relevant. The ability to customize and tinker is always something people are going to want, even if at the beginning they're not. Eventually, chances are they'll become more intrigued, right? So onward to technology and software, right? So that's where the actual Axe Edit kind of system comes into play. So here in Axe Edit, this is how you control the Axe Effects from your computer. And this is a very nice thing because sometimes you don't have reachable, right towards the Axe Effects unit itself. And being able to control it on your computer is a beautiful thing. So here you can see I've got a preset and it's at the 1012th preset, right? All of the other ones below that aren't filled up, but just to show you, you can go into the thousands. So don't think that you're limited as far as how many times you can create a new sound. Okay, so all of your effects pedals or your effects blocks lie in here. Your ability to go and share and kind of collaborate on sounds with the Axe change is in here, right here. And then you can also export your presets. You can create impulse responses. There are millions of ways, literally to tinker with the sounds that you've got inside the Axe Effects. New people that are interested and creators are coming out with new sounds all the time. So the software and the technology is right there tied into relevance because the people that are interested in this thing are constantly making new things for it and making the people that come later have more to choose from. So as far as technology and the software, it's updated consistently and it's constantly being monitored and updated from the community as well. All right, so now let's talk about build quality. Okay, here, I'll show you. So we've got this Axe Effects here. Don't mind the focus. So this thing, it's built out of straight up metal. The entire chassis is built out of metal. All of the connectors are, they're well put together. None of them are loose. All of the knobs feel solid and nothing feels of cheap quality, right? Here, let me just get the autofocus back on. But it's extremely well built. I've had this unit for now going on about 3 years, and I've had 0 scratches, no issues at all. I mean, I don't know what else I can ask for aside from a unit that's built well. It's intended to be put into a rack. It doesn't have to. It's sitting tabletop right now, as you can see, and it's been working perfectly for me for a couple of years. So I can't have any sort of sweats about what the build quality is coming out of it, you know what I mean? So let's talk about the competition, right? The competition is really kind of why you want to be watching this video, at least to me. Like, why in the world would you buy the Axe Effects 3, which is more expensive than a bunch of the competition? 3 years after it's come out? It's a pretty serious question. Are they going to update the thing? How much more value are you going to get if you just waited instead of just bought this one, right? So that's a pretty valid question, I'd say. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the competition. So we've got first, which is kind of the newcomer here. It's the Quad Cortex, and it's made by Neural DSP. They've been kind of in the VST scene for a while. They created all this software that emulates guitar, just by DI. And this one is made by them, a crazy amount of power. They use a neural network or a neural engine in order to create these models for, the types of amps and setups that they got. And, looks obviously pretty decent amount of input output, small form factor, kind of looks like an FM9, and tons of effects, tons of power, tons of, everything that you expect from a product that comes out nowadays. So, I mean, I can't say which one for sure is going to be more useful. I think that this one's obviously a bit more portable because the small form factor, it looks like you just take it anywhere. And, looks pretty goddamn good. Not going to lie. I mean, go up next, we got Line 6 Helix. It's another floor model. You also have the possibility of a rack mount. That's basically, it looks kind of like an AXFX3 unit. Same kind of thing. Inputs, outputs, tons of effects, tons of things going on, tons of customizability. What it really comes down to is what sounds you like better, because they're not going to all sound the same. Different companies are using different algorithms to create their sounds, and different hardware, and so each one has its own sonic properties, and so you can hear differences, and it's just up to you. They all look like they can do their fair share of modeling and obviously get great sounds out of any of them. We got this one. This is the Kemper Profiler, and looks, once again, you've got like a rack mount looking thing. They're all intended to do one thing really great, and that is to be able to model a lot of hardware in these software-driven packages. So, of course, all of these things can be ran with a cabinet like this one, this cabinet and cone. And then, of course, the Kemper also has a pretty goddamn good, forum. Has tons of people in there. So, I mean, the Kemper, the AXFX, the Line 6, the Quad Cortex, they're all fantastic products. You can go wrong with none of them. Maybe some of them do different things a little bit better. At least from my perspective, from what I've used of all of the different profilers, I think the AXFX is just a little bit more customizable. You can go very deep into each piece of effect. So if you're up to that, go for it. Other ones probably easier to approach. So, take from it what you will. I think the AXFX3 is still absolutely worth the money that you pay for it, because what you get from it isn't going to age with technology. You might get more things a little bit faster later on, but those are going to be software updates. The speed, maybe not. You can add more modeling and more effects afterwards without bogging down the system. But at a certain point, I don't think you need that much more. We've got so much already. So, with that being said, I think that's all I'm going to say for this video. I hope you got something out of it. If you don't like this video, hit dislike, which is just like twice. So I'll catch you all on the flippy floppy.